Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here with the beautiful Angela Arnold, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her new workout and weight loss plan. So, Angela, we're going to start with our first question. What was your motivation? What was your catalyst for beginning this new lifestyle, this new workout?
Okay, well, that's a pretty long story, and as with anyone who's had to lose weight or wanted to lose weight, I've had a lot of starts and stops and lose a pound, gain two, and different things like that. But right now, the main catalyst for me was I wanted to get into shape. I started to assess my life goals, and I see that I need to live at least 150 more years in order to do everything that I wanted to do. So I decided I'm going to have to get in shape, I'm going to have to lose weight and do the things that make me feel better about myself. Part of longevity, I know I have to lose weight. That's a decision that I made, and I have to lose and firm and tone and exercise and everything like that. I got started maybe 4 months ago, and I stayed on the path for 2 months. Then I got a series of devastating news. My cousin died. She had complications of diabetes and kidney failure. She was on dialysis. And then my sister died, and she was only 62 years old. And I started to think, well, Angela, you better get in shape. You better do something here. When my sister got sick, she died very quickly. She was in the hospital one day and dead within 24 hours. So it was one of those things that was a real eye-opener for me. And I really wanted to get down to Philadelphia where she lived to see her before she died. I got my plane booked. I sat at the airport, and I pretty much knew she was going to die, talking with my niece, and I knew she was also, not in the best of shape, not as healthy as she could have been, overweight, all of that kind of stuff. Diabetic, hypertension, high cholesterol, that whole triad of things. And as I sat at the airport, I started crying. My plane was delayed 2 hours, so I knew I wasn't going to make it to Philly in time. And the stewardess came over to me from the airport, from the airplane. I had finally boarded the plane. There were only 6 of us headed to Philadelphia. And she saw me over there crying, so she came over and talked to me. And I told her what the situation was. Well, she commiserated with me, and by the time I left the airplane, I think she had given me all of the pretzels and crackers that they had on board, so I left with all of this food. When I heard my sister was sick and in the hospital, I walked through a blinding snowstorm, and I got 2 bags of potato chips, and I ate them. I ate one big bag of potato chips, and I had another one. I said, I'll eat that when I come back. And I just said, well, this is not the way I want to do stuff. And at that moment, I just had a catharsis, I guess. And then my children told me, hey, Mom, you got to start taking care of yourself. You got to work out. You got to do this and that. And when I got back to Boston, I started doing it. So I started working out. I worked out every day. I decided I was going to do maybe 3 days a week at the minimum and restrict my caloric intake, eat more raw foods, and not go for some of the stuff I had already been doing. So that's basically in a nutshell what happened. I made a decision for myself that I have too many things that I want to do, too much stuff that I want to live for, and I want to be healthy and fit as long as I live. So I feel like I have a lot of energy now. I have achieved a certain level of fitness by going to the gym, that I'm walking faster, standing taller, doing other things that I never thought I was going to do recently, So I'm feeling good about it. That's what I'm doing. I've decided, eat less, work out, and my weight will take care of itself.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. That segues into our next question, actually. Can you give us a brief overview of your weight loss goals
Okay.
and your daily regimen?
Okay. In terms of my weight loss goals, well, I started out weighing 251 pounds. I went to the doctor yesterday and I weigh 226 now, so I've lost 25 pounds.
Wonderful.
Which is great for me. That's my grandson. And that's why I gotta be here for a long time too, to see him go through college, get married, and have children. He's brand new, only 8 months old, so I got a ways to go for that. But what I do every day is I drink a green smoothie, some super greens or some kind of dark green leafy vegetables, either juiced up or a powder that I mix together. I go to the gym, or else I jump on my mini trampoline. So if I don't feel like going to the gym for whatever reason, too busy, too whatever, I make sure I jump on my trampoline for about a half an hour. I have my exercise music, I have all of that, you know. So that's in terms of my exercise. In terms of my regimen for eating and drinking, I do the smoothie in the morning. I will eat lunch, or else I'll do another smoothie for lunch. And then I'll eat dinner, or else do another smoothie for dinner. And I'll have fruits and vegetables. If I get hungry, I might even get some cashews. I'm certainly not a big meat eater. I never have been, but I still eat meat. So I might get some sliced turkey or something like that that's going to give me the protein I need, but it's not going to have a lot of fats and other things that I don't need. So that's pretty much in terms of what my regimen is. I try to keep it simple so that it's something that I can easily do. And if I don't do what I plan to do, like if I eat too much or if I get some pizza or something like that, that's okay too. I just make sure it doesn't stop me for the next day getting back to what I wanted to do. In the past, I used to say, oh, well, I've already broken my diet. I've already eaten some pizza, so I might as well just go all out on it. But I don't do that anymore. I just say, okay, well, I ate that. I had a desire for it, and I've satisfied that desire now. So now I can go into something else, and that's what I do.
Okay. Now, before you began your fitness regimen, you mentioned you went to the doctors yesterday. Did you consult a doctor or a health professional?
No, I didn't. And why I didn't is because I think when you get to be my age, which will be undisclosed for the moment, you know your body well enough to know sort of what you can do and what you can't do. So I really had intentions of going to the doctor, but I couldn't get my appointment in time, and I didn't want to put off getting started. So I just started. That's what I did. I knew well enough what I wanted to eat, because most of the diet plans are the same. You have to reduce your refined sugars, reduce carbohydrates, anything out of a bag, box, or can, you know, try to cut down on that. Eat raw fruits, raw vegetables as you can. No sugar. Cut out the wheat. I mean, pretty much it's the same thing. So I can figure out of the things, and there's a multitude of things that are acceptable for us to eat. Out of those things, I'll choose the things that I like. There are certain foods that my body just loves. I mean, my body loves cashews. My body loves dark chocolate, so I'm going to always have that. I also love potato chips, so I'm going to have those from time to time, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it, you know, because however long I live, and whatever my level of fitness is, and whatever my weight is, I'm still going to enjoy myself as I'm living. So I want to go to a certain destination, but that destination, I want to enjoy myself as I'm getting there. So I don't let those kinds of things bother me like I used to.
That's wonderful. So I guess that segues into the next question. How do you feel overall? You mentioned that you were feeling...
I feel a lot better now. This is really strange because I didn't feel bad before, okay? If I had felt bad before, I would have done something about it. But now that I compare before and now, I feel a lot better. When I get out to walk, I can walk longer, I can walk faster, and I can see that, you know, my posture is better. I'm walking straight up and down rather than slumped over. So you don't notice those kinds of things. In terms of my fitness altogether, When we first started, I was impossible. It was impossible for me to do the elliptical machine. I got on there for 1 minute. I could feel my heart pumping. My legs were burning. I was on there for 1 minute. So then I just took it a day at a time. Then I got on there for 2 minutes. Then I got for 3. Last time I was on there for 15 minutes without, and I could have stayed on there much longer. But I don't want to do all of my stuff on the elliptical machine because I go to other machines. I go to rowing machines. I go to abdominals. So even though I can do more than 15 minutes on the elliptical, I probably never will because I want to use the other machines. And I think those other machines do more for me in terms of just firming and toning. The elliptical is good for cardio. And that's great. I could use cardio, but that's not all I can use. So I love it when I get on the machines that work my quadriceps or something that works my biceps or triceps or my calf muscles because I can actually feel them working. So when I get off of those machines, I can actually feel my muscles are tighter. I can feel my quads. I have some definition there before, but before I didn't. It was just like big thigh. Now it's big thigh and some quads.
Wonderful, wonderful. My last question for you is, what advice would you give to someone within your age group who is looking to change their life, live longer, live healthier? What advice would you give to them to start a new fitness regimen or fitness goal?
Okay. Well, first of all, I would say probably if you have not been to a physician for a while, you may want to consult with a healthcare professional. I'm not a healthcare professional, but I know that exercise is going to be good for most people. In the past, when I've tried to lose weight, I always did it through starvation. And I could drop the pounds, but within a month, I couldn't sustain that. My metabolism had gone down, so even I'd have to actually starve myself to get the results that I wanted. Now I realize the importance of exercise, so I would tell everybody, do a little bit of the exercise. Okay? Make sure that you eat the foods that are good. Make healthy food choices. Don't be afraid of what you look like when you go to the gym, because that's one thing I thought about. I'm going to be the oldest person at the gym. Look at my white hair. Oh, people are going to laugh at me. Oh, they're going to see this big fat woman, you know. And now it's like, I don't care who's looking. I walk into the gym. I found my people. I've seen people that look like they weigh 400 pounds at the gym. And in the past, people would stare, like, look at that person. But you know what I think? I said to myself, at least they're here, you know? It doesn't matter what you look like. You're there making improvements on your body and for your health. So I would say don't wonder about what somebody's going to think or say. Just get started now. Don't delay it. If it's important enough for you, make the time to do it. That was one of my excuses. I don't have time. I'm too busy doing other things. Well, this is important to make the time to do the things that are important to you. That's what I would say. And get started. Don't delay on it. Because there's always tomorrow. But I'll mention this thing. I just recently came back from the funeral of my mother-in-law, and she lived to be 95 years old, and as far as I could see, she was healthy most of those years. She died suddenly in terms of, at that age, anything can take you out. She had a stroke. And at her eulogy, her brother gave her eulogy, and he's about 88. And one thing that he spoke about was golden moments, and that's what I'd like to share with you. That our life is composed of golden moments. Isn't that right, baby? Our life is composed of golden moments, and you don't know how many of those golden moments you have. So if there's something that's important for you to do it now. Don't wait. Tomorrow really never comes. You know, there's always tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, if you want to quote Shakespeare on it. But do it today. Don't delay. Get started. Think about what's important to you, what your goals are, what outcomes you want, and just work towards it, because it's not going to happen by accident. If you keep putting it off, which I think would be one of the worst things that you could do, you'll find yourself a year from now in the same situation, and you'll be making another resolution to do it. And then that'll go into the next year. So I would say start today, make incremental progress if that's what it's going to be. But if you can look back next year and see that you're farther along the road to achieving your goals, whatever they are, whether they're fitness, weight loss, occupational, whatever they are, family, you'll be closer if you start today. So that's the main thing. Don't delay. Do what you have to do. And thank you so much for taking this time to ask me a few questions, because this is something I can talk about forever.
Thank you, Mrs. Arnold.
You're welcome.